diapers. Welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius. Today we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a cool video game to talk about, a book about having balance in your life, my bull and squirrel report, and we got a totally fun guest, Mrs. Julie Woik. She's an author, which is someone that writes books. Thank you, Miss Julie, for being on my show.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tiberius, for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and I do want to hear about your bowling scores.
Yeah, I did pretty good today.
Good.
Today we're going to start off with a video game of the week, and this is going to be a classic.
What's the classic video game? It's Pac-Man. Is it Pac-Man?
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Pac-Man. This game is on Sony platforms. It is crazy. They have versions for PC and for your cell phone. Every console has a version of it, and then you have the version my dad has.
What's that version?
It's the original,
Oh
Julie.
my God, the original!
I know. He has an arcade machine. Then you have a version on an emulator, so I get the full experience of a classic game that started 36 years ago.
36 years? Oh, dear. Yeah, I see. 36 years. Oh, my goodness. That makes me a little bit older, because I remember when Pac-Man first came out. So?
That is over 5 times my age.
Yeah, well, it's almost twice mine.
I really like the names of the ghosts. You have Blinky, the red ghost, which chases Pac-Man, and Pinky, the pink ghost, who tries to get in front of Pac-Man. Then you have Inky, the blue ghost, which changes its move from chase to ambush to just getting lost. And finally, you have Clyde, the orange ghost. Clyde will first chase Pac-Man, but when he gets way too close, he will wander off.
Where does he wander to?
Yeah, everywhere else.
Just everywhere else? Oh, okay, so kind of all over the place. And is there a reason?
There's no reason you should die to Clyde.
Unbelievable.
But sometimes if you get too close, and actually he goes that way, and then you keep going that way, you might die to Clyde.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no good.
Then he starts chasing you again.
Wow.
So most people don't realize, but Pac-Man was not the real name of the game. It was originally called Puck-Man because he looked like a hockey puck. But in the United States, people were spray painting over the words to make it say a bad word. So the company had to change the name of the game to Pac-Man.
Well, that makes total sense, and that's a really good thing. And sometimes those things have to happen, and sometimes it ends up to be super popular. So it's best if you change something sometimes. Like, I believe Facebook, and you know what Facebook is. Well, it used to be called, originally it was called The Facebook. And then after some time, they changed it to just Facebook because it made more sense.
Why?
Well, I just think it was just too many words to say the Facebook. Let's go on the Facebook. And I saw it last night.
Because it doesn't make sense.
So it was just easier to say Facebook. I posted something on Facebook. So it just became, but originally it was 2 words. So sometimes you have to change things.
So for the video game, I love Pac-Man.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
I try to do the
actual
I, and then the heart, then Pac-Man, the Pac-Man.
Yeah, I haven't played it in so long, sweetheart, because I can't even remember what it all looked like. But I do remember that I tried a few times to win, and and then you don't win all the time.
What was your highest score?
Oh gosh,
what
honey,
level?
2 probably. Not much, Tiberius. Not much, darling.
I like running around and eating all the dots and monsters, and especially the power pellets. I eat power pellets in real life. Well, they are Skittles and they give me lots of energy. My mom does not like me on Power Pellets.
I wonder why, honey. I wonder why.
Who knew?
What about Dad? Does he like the Power Pellets?
Yeah, he does. Too much. My dad tells me if I get to level 256, the game will crash, and I will get to see the winning screen. So the highest level I've gotten was to level 8. But it's still so much fun. Plus, it is nice to watch my dad get excited over an oldie game.
An oldie game. Really? Okay.
I give Pac-Man 10 out of 10 stars. Not only is it fun to play, but most adults know the game and are willing to play with me as well. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373. Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, SlutChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at SlutChannelUS.com. That website again is SlutChannelUS.com.
And now we're all ready for the Book of the Week.
The Life and Times of Lilly the Lash, Jungle Jive. This book was written by Julie Woik. Let me read you the back of the book. In fact, wait. Did it say Julie Woik? That's my guest today. Julie, would you do the honors?
Of course I will, darling. Let's have that book. Cool. In book 5 of the series, Jungle Jive, Lilly the Lash finds herself in the lush and lavish town of Treebark Falls, where a young monkey's idea to generate additional income for the community is clouded by greed and quickly turns disastrous. Lilly, only ever seen by the reader, sends in a gentle, nature-loving bear to help the villagers recognize their error in judgment and provide the guidance needed to restore precious balance to their town.
So the story is about Lilly the Lash. She's an eyelash who sees everything that goes on around her. She tries to see things that will help them on their journey of life. This time she sees Daxon the monkey in Treebark Falls. He found a way to make extra money by chopping down the trees in the town and selling it for wood. Soon the entire town was helping, and most of the trees have been cut down and sold. But then a storm goes by, and most of the town's home has been damaged because
the trees weren't there.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't protect them anymore. They even cut down the top of Molly B. Mouse's house. So now she doesn't even have any shade. So now she has to have an umbrella that's a flower. It's amazing.
I did not even know that was
well, hello. Yeah, you got to look at that. So amazing, all the little things. But then what happened?
Lilly sends old Auntie Wren to teach about having balance in the town and to plant saplings to grow more trees. With the right balance of trees growing and logging and regrowing, the town could be restored. I really like that Dax agreed, and all the town worked together to plant the trees and restore the balance in the town. I like seeing how virtues can solve the problems.
Yeah, and the thing is that they just didn't even think about where they were cutting them down from. They didn't think how many they were cutting down, and they didn't even think about replanting. So everything got out of balance really quickly. So the things that we do, they matter because they can affect myself. It might affect you. It could affect the environment. I mean, that's what's, balance is literally that. It's trying to keep a balance in our lives.
The government, the president, and everything.
Absolutely. Everyone, honey. We've got everything from workers out that are doing our garbage. Everybody's got a job. And when we work together to keep that balance, and balance is also about two things, too. Having some fun and getting some work done.
I really like Salamander because he's a radio show like I do. I think all second and third graders should read this book. This book talks about having balance in your actions. This is a cool book because it is part of a 15-book series. I give this book 11 out of 10 stars.
Oh, man, I love it when you talk like that. That's awesome, honey.
Now it's time for the interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be a lot of fun. If you're on my book review, you know my guest is going to be Julie Woik, the author of the book. This is the first time I have met one of the authors of a book I read or reviewed.
Well, that's cool. I'm so glad to be here. That's really neat.
So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
Well, I love being on the show because you're really cool, and it's interesting for me to be able to talk to you about the book, and especially since you've read them and you know a bit about them.
How did you get started into writing children's books?
Well, my story is a little bit unusual, Tiberius. I woke up in the middle of the night on my way to the bathroom, and I was walking down the hall, and I wiped my eye, just like you do, and you rub your eye, and I had a little eyelash on my finger. And as soon as I looked at the eyelash, it was Lilly the Lash, spelled just the way I have it on the books, and it was about a poem that was about a friend of mine, and she was having a couple of troubles in her life. And I wrote the poem, and someone overheard it who worked at a really big publishing house for like 19 years. And her name was Brenda, and she said, "Julie, this is beautiful." And I remembered laughing because I actually got a D- in English when I was in high school, so I didn't do very good. So I kind of laughed and thought, well, that's not going to be something I want to do. But then when I thought about it, I thought, well, I have to try. I have to just get some confidence and try this. And that's how it all started. That's how it all began.
How did you get the ideas for the stories?
Well, sometimes I get them from children. Like the first one is I live in a real foresty area, and it's the first one's called The Garden Gathering because my husband does plants flowers and plants. So that was kind of how the first one, and it was also about self-worth and realizing that we're all different, and I think that's important. But then the other books, I get ideas from children. They may say to me, we need to learn about sharing, or bullying is a big one. So, everybody's giving me ideas, so that's how I get ideas.
Does it take a long time to get the idea and turn it into a good story?
Well, again, once I get the idea, like someone helps me, or I just think of it, like I want to do bullying, but then I wanted to do it in a, like that one is in a kitchen. So I want to always have something different. I always want it to be in a different location because that makes it fun, Tiberius. I don't want the same place all the time.
Like the milk one.
Yeah, that's about bullying, and it's in a kitchen. But then there's Ocean Commotion, and that one's in the water. And then there's Jungle Jive, and that one's in the jungle. But it's always in a different location.
What is the best part about being an author?
Well, I think today it's meeting you. So I think that's pretty cool that I get to be on a radio program with somebody special like you, because that doesn't happen to me every day. So I get to talk at schools, and people buy my books and I sign them, and all of that part is really cool, but this is really special. So this is cool.
Dab on it.
I'm dabbing on it, baby. I'm dabbing on it.
My dad says you visit a lot of schools and talk about the virtues in the book. What is the virtue you like the best?
Well, I think that I really like the first book is self-worth. And the reason that I like self-worth is because I think it's important for all of us to realize that we all are different and we all have a gift, and it's not going to be the same as you. You're not going to be the same as me. And I might not agree with you, Tiberius, but I need to listen and find out about you. And once I find out about you, then I can think, wow, I met somebody so different from me and so cool. And that's wonderful because I'm not going to be you. You're not going to be me. And if we all were the same, boy, life would be really, really boring.
When you are not working on writing books or visiting schools, what do you do for fun?
Well, some friends of ours own two jet skis. So sometimes we go out on that, and then we'll go to a local restaurant, and we'll drive it there, and then we will eat, and then we will drive them back to the boat ramp again. So sometimes we do that. And sometimes the easy answer to that is I just really enjoy being at home with my husband, and I like to eat good food. So if we're going to do something, we'll decide on a really nice restaurant, and then we'll go out and enjoy a really nice dinner.
Okay, so what is your favorite book that is not one you have written?
I like even Dr. Seuss's books. I think why I like them is because, again, they teach us a good lesson. And secondly, I like that he uses such funny words. You know, woober wobble bop. You know, I mean, he makes them up and they're just funny. I think they're funny to say. I think they're funny to hear. And so that makes the book enjoyable. And yet it still teaches an important lesson.
Like the music one. I like that one.
There's a couple of them. There's so many. How do you choose the best one? I don't know.
Actually, on Friday, I'm not going to go to music. I'm just going to interview people on the app.
Oh, well, then that's just going to be awesome. So, okay.
No games, just interviewing.
Okay, cool.
Do you play video games? What's your favorite one?
Well, I haven't played video games in a while because I've been very busy. But I did like the I like the ones. It's called. Do you ever hear the one called The Room? And all it is that you have to move something to find a key. And when you find the key, it opens a box. When you open the box, you know those kinds of things.
Like I've been on Roblox and you needed to click a chair.
Yes.
And then it moves.
Yes.
And then you go through that.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I like those. I don't like the violent ones because I don't think there's really any need for them. I like the ones where you have to figure something out. And when you figure it out, then that way it's really cool because you get to go into another door or you get to go into another room or you move a painting and all of a sudden there's a mirror behind it and then you can reach into it. That's what I like, those kinds of things.
Do you play board games?
I do like board games, and why I like board games is because I think it's fun to be just with a few people and you do board games and then you get to know each other a little bit. So I like them. I even like Pictionary. That's not really a board game, but you get to draw things out and then everybody's got to guess. I just like that kind of thing. I like when it's a few people, like 6-8 people, and you sit around and you enjoy doing that. If I had my favorite books besides the ones that I write that are, a lot of the Dr. Seuss, what are some favorite books besides mine? Because, of course, mine are the best books that you love. But besides my book, sweetheart, which are your other favorite books? Like, what kind of book do you like? What do you like, Tiberius? Are you liking to sit down and reading, quite a bit, like at night? Or are you sitting and, tell me how that goes.
So, I like, Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Okay, good. Nice. And that's kind of big reading. That's a lot of reading.
The Meltdown.
There's a lot of reading.
That just came out.
Cool. Here's a question. Do you like to read?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, not everybody does, Tiberius. You'd be surprised. Oh. It's amazing, isn't it? Because it does two things. It makes you very smart, and reading makes you mature. So when you have a bigger vocabulary and you have more words to use when you speak to others, that gives you a maturity. So if you came for a job and came to my place and you were getting hired for a job, I might not even know you're a reader. You wouldn't have told me that, but I would know by the way you acted because the maturity would be there. And that comes with reading. So please encourage others to read.
If you remember this, that means you know that I am a reader. Thank you for being my special guest this week.
Oh, thank you so much, Tiberius. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm so glad I was able to come here. I'm so glad I got to meet you. Can I have a hug? Oh, you are awesome. Thank you for having me.
Can you stick around for math class?
I think I need to because I don't know anything about it, so you might have to teach me something.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com. Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator rights. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com.
Get ready, it's time for the Bowling Score Report.
I went to Skylands on Saturday and I played with Vanessa, Mia, and MJ. I bowled an 83, a 114, and a 99 in the final game.
Wow.
I had a lot of fun, but this was a qualifier for the Pepsi tournament. If you want to go bowling with me, be sure to join me Saturdays at AM Skylands on OBT at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners.
Today we're going to talk about arrays and how they are used to help math. An array is an arrangement of objects, pictures, or numbers in columns or rows used to represent the multiplication of a unit. So first off, an array is a chart that represents multiplying numbers or objects. It can be orange baskets or chairs in a room or even people in a marching band. But each time the unit is the same across the entire array. So if you have a marching band of students and there are 3 rows of people and there are 5 people in each row in the column. In this case, the units are the students in the marching band. So the answer would be 15 students.
Okay.
Another important fact about arrays is that it must be equal groups. So if I have 12 items, I can do 2 rows of 6, 6 rows of 2, or even 3 rows of 4, or 4 rows of 3. So like I have 17 numbers,
Yeah.
there are no way I can make an array for that one because the groups would not be even. What makes arrays cool is that you can check your work on multiplication problems by drawing a quick array and adding the rows together. This is Julie. Do you know how to use arrays?
Well, I do now.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Julie, for your help with Math Corners.
Well, thank you for teaching me something about arrays.
You're welcome.
You're awesome.
And now it's time for Heart of a Lion. We at the Tiberius Show like living with the heart of a lion. Living with the heart of a lion stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. We asked Dr. Ferret exactly what that means.
Leadership is really about influence. Leadership is, and the way we define it is good leadership, is about setting the right example and encouraging other people to do the right thing. Integrity is about doing right no matter what. Through life, there are a lot of different circumstances that arise, and integrity, someone who shows integrity, it doesn't matter what all the external things are, they always choose to do what is right. Obedience is about obeying those who are in authority over you, whether that's a teacher, a boss, a parent, that when you are asked to do something, that you respond with obedience, quickly and completely. Nobility is about having respect. It's about carrying yourself with respect and showing respect to others. When you put these 4 things together, That's Lion Strong.
This week we are going to talk about obedience. Obedience is compliance with a good attitude as well as respect for the law. As you know when someone is obedient when they follow instructions willingly and with a smile on their face. They listen and strive to follow instructions exactly. This is a hard one for me. I had to work on it a lot. I don't like to listen to a lot. And my mom and dad tell me to stop and listen to the instructions so that I can obey and complete my tasks. This week I am working on obedience with watching videos on YouTube. My dad turned on YouTube on my computer again, but I am only allowed to watch videos if my mom or dad is in the house and my speakers are on. It is important that they know the content that I am watching and listening to. I know how to change the video when he's using bad words, but sometimes I don't do it fast enough. I really like watching videos, and I am really going to work hard to be obedient because I really don't want to lose having videos on my computer again. It's going to be a hard one. Miss Julie, did you see our use obedience this week at all?
Well, I think that I do often, honey, and it's something that you have to learn again and again and again. It's not something that is automatic. We have to remember that there are things that new people come into our lives and then they need us to follow directions and do things, or we might need them to follow directions and do things. And so if you do it with a happy heart and you do it with a smile on your face and be respectful, then that's a good thing. Sometimes that is hard. Sometimes you might not like what the chore is, and if I even have a reason why I might not like it, I might want to question something, but in the end I still want to try to do the best that I can.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank Mrs. Julie Woik for being my special guest this week. You have been amazing!
Well, I think you're amazing. Oh my goodness. This is so cool, Tiberius. You know, I've been on radio before quite a few times, but it's not the same.
Like on those 2 radio stations.
Well, you saw that, yeah. And I have them on my website.
But now you on 3 radio stations.
Well, it's been more than that. I don't have them all on my website. But, sweetheart, yours is the so bestest, everest, ever in the ever worldest because you're cool. You're different. And that's really neat.
And the whole thing about the world is if you're different or not.
Yes. It makes the world,
if
sweetheart.
If you're like a twin, you say you're a twin.
Well, and what if we were all the same, Tiberius? You wouldn't even know that it was me standing here because I'd look just like you. So you wouldn't be sure if it was you or if it was me.
Like, if my parent was like that, and I had a twin, whoop.
You could.
He wouldn't know if it was Tiberius or Tiberius.
No, you would not.
And if it was a girl,
sweetheart.
He would call her Anita.
Okay.
And her last name is Boy. So
I need a boy.
I need a boy.
Oh my God, you are something, sweetheart. You are something. Well, what if Pierre? He could be our brother too, and then nobody would know the difference, would they?
Nobody would.
I'm originally from Wisconsin, if you can believe that. I'm a cheesehead. Yep, I love my brats.
What's a cheesehead?
That's why I like steak. Yeah, the Packers and steak and cheese curds.
Wow.
Yes. Well, give me 5. High five, buddy. You are so cool, buddy.
Be sure to listen to us next week on the Tiberius Show. With your host, Tiberius. Yes, boy.
Stop! Put that hammer down. If you are frustrated with your computer, we have a better way. Call Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810 and let one of our staff handle it for you. Again, our number is 407-826-0810 and we can work remotely or on site to solve your computer issues. Use your computer hammer-free with Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. The Tiberius Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Executive producer Joseph Boyd. Production editor Pierre Laguerre. Green Room manager Danny Boyd. Broadcast associate James Smith. And your program host, Tiberius Boy. The Tiberius Show is copyright 2018.